Have you ever wondered how some folks seem to age like fine wine, full of energy, laughter, and zest for life? Like my friend Harold, who's 78 and still out hiking every weekend. Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. It's not magic. A lot of it comes down to what's on their plate. You see, as we get a little wiser in years, our bodies need a little extra love to keep us feeling strong and vibrant. And that's where superfoods come in. These aren't fancy, hard-to-find ingredients or expensive supplements. They're simple, everyday foods packed with nutrients that can help us stay healthy, sharp, and full of life. Today, we're going to talk about 5 of these powerhouse foods, ones you can easily find at your local market, and how adding them to your meals each week can make a world of difference. So, let's start with the first 2. Trust me, you're going to want to grab a pen for this. Let's kick things off with a classic, leafy greens. Now, I know what you're thinking, really? More salad. But hear me out. These aren't just any greens. We're talking spinach, kale, Swiss chard, even the humble romaine lettuce. These leafy wonders are like nature's multivitamin. Why? Well, they're loaded with vitamin K, which keeps our bones strong, something that becomes even more important as we age. They've also got plenty of fiber to keep our digestion smooth, and antioxidants that act like little bodyguards, fighting off inflammation. My neighbor Margaret started tossing a handful of spinach into her soups and omelets, and she swears it's why she still has the energy to tend her rose garden every morning. And here's the best part. You don't have to eat a mountain of kale to reap the benefits. Try blending a handful into a morning smoothie. You won't even taste it. Or saute some Swiss chard with garlic and olive oil as a side dish. Small changes, big rewards. Now, let's talk about something sweeter berries. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, these little gems are like candy, but with a superhero cape. They're bursting with antioxidants called flavonoids, which studies suggest can help keep our brain sharp and our memory strong. Remember my friend Harold, the hiker? He sprinkles blueberries on his oatmeal every morning and calls them his brain boosters. And he's onto something. Research shows that folks who eat berries regularly may even lower their risk of age-related memory issues. Plus, they're fantastic for your heart and can help keep your blood sugar steady. If fresh berries aren't in season, frozen ones work just as well. Toss them into yogurt, blend them into a smoothie, or just enjoy a handful as a sweet snack. Your taste buds and your body will thank you. Now, I know what some of you might be saying, but what if I don't love salads? Or berries are too tart for me? Here's the thing. It's all about finding what works for you. Maybe you'll discover you love kale chips baked with a pinch of sea salt. Or perhaps stirring a handful of frozen berries into your morning oatmeal until they melt into a sweet, jammy swirl is more your style. The goal isn't perfection. It's progress. Even adding 1 extra serving of these foods each week is a step toward a healthier, more vibrant you. And guess what? We're just getting started. There are more delicious, easy-to-enjoy superfoods where these came from foods that can turn an ordinary meal into a longevity powerhouse. So why not try something new this week? Whip up a green smoothie or sprinkle a few berries over your cereal. Then, when you're ready, we'll keep this conversation going. After all, the journey to feeling your best is meant to be shared and enjoyed, one bite at a time. Until next time, remember, every meal is a chance to nourish the amazing life you've built. Here's to making the most of it. You know, one of the things I love most about eating well is that it doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes, the biggest changes come from the smallest tweaks, like tossing a handful of nuts into your pocket for a walk or swapping out that frozen pizza for a piece of grilled fish. And speaking of simple swaps, let's dive into our next 2 superfoods. These might just become your new pantry staples. First up, nuts and seeds. Now, I can already hear some of you saying, aren't those just crunchy snacks? Oh, there's so much more. Think of them as tiny treasure chests of good health. Walnuts, almonds, flax seeds, chia seeds. These little guys are packed with omega-3s, fiber, and plant-based protein. And for those of us over 60, they're like a secret weapon against hunger pangs and sluggish afternoons. Take my cousin Irene, for example. She started keeping a jar of mixed nuts on her coffee table instead of candy. Not only does she snack less on sweets, but her doctor recently praised her cholesterol levels for the first time in years. And here's why. Nuts and seeds help keep our hearts happy by balancing cholesterol and reducing inflammation. Plus, they're great for keeping our joints nimble. But here's the trick. A little goes a long way. Just a small handful a day, about the size of your palm, is all you need. Sprinkle chia seeds on your yogurt, blend almond butter into your morning smoothie, or add crushed walnuts to a salad for a satisfying crunch. And if you're worried about your teeth, soak almonds in water overnight. They'll soften right up. Now, let's talk about something that might surprise you: fatty fish. Salmon, mackerel, sardines. These aren't just fancy restaurant dishes. They're some of the best foods you can eat for your brain, heart, and even your mood. Why? They're loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, which are like oil for the rusty hinges of our bodies as we age. My buddy Frank, who's 82 and still volunteers at the community theater, calls salmon his brain fuel. He grills it once a week and swears it's why he remembers every line of his scripts. Science backs him up. Studies show that omega-3s can help protect against memory decline and keep our heart's rhythm steady. And if you're worried about cost or cooking time, canned salmon or sardines are just as nutritious. Mix them into a salad, make a sandwich, or toss them with pasta and olive oil. And for those who aren't fish fans, don't worry, you can still get those omega-3s. Try flax seeds or walnuts, which we just talked about. But if you can swing it, aim for fish at least once a week. Your body will notice the difference. Now, I'll be honest, change can feel daunting. Maybe you've never cooked salmon before, or you're not sure how to use chia seeds. But here's the beauty of it. You don't have to overhaul your whole routine. Start small. Next time you're at the store, grab a bag of almonds instead of chips. Or try a salmon burger patty. They're easy to pan fry and taste delicious with a squeeze of lemon. The key is to make it enjoyable. Food shouldn't feel like a chore. It's about celebrating what fuels you, what keeps you gardening, traveling, laughing with grandkids, whatever fills your days with joy. And the more you experiment, the more you'll discover flavors and recipes that feel like old friends. Take this simple recipe I love. Mix canned salmon with a bit of Greek yogurt, mustard, and dill, then spread it on whole grain crackers. It's my go-to lunch, and it takes 5 minutes. Or try stirring a spoonful of ground flaxseed into your morning oatmeal. Tiny steps, but they add up to something powerful. And remember, you're not alone in this. We're all figuring it out as we go. So why not share your own ideas in the comments? I'd love to hear how you're adding nuts, seeds, or fish to your meals. Who knows, you might inspire someone else to try something new. Every bite is a chance to invest in the life you love. And trust me, there's still so much to savor ahead. You know, sometimes the simplest foods are the ones that do the most good. Take this pot of beans here, nothing fancy, just hearty, humble ingredients. But let me tell you, what they lack in glamour, they make up for in power. And that brings us to our final superfood, one that's been a kitchen staple for generations: beans and legumes. Black beans, lentils, chickpeas, kidney beans, these little miracles are like the Swiss Army knife of nutrition. They're packed with fiber to keep your digestion humming, plant-based protein to maintain muscle strength, and a host of vitamins like folate and iron. And here's the kicker. Studies show folks who eat beans regularly tend to have healthier hearts and steadier blood sugar levels. My Aunt Clara, who's 89 and still line dances every Friday, calls lentils her forever fuel. She tosses them into soups, salads, even her meatloaf. And she's never once complained about feeling sluggish after meals. The best part? Beans are forgiving. No fancy prep needed. Throw them in a slow cooker, mash them into a dip, or stir them into a chili. Canned ones work just fine. Rinse, and you're good to go. Now, let's take a step back and look at the big picture. We've talked about leafy greens, berries, nuts and seeds, fatty fish, and beans, 5 everyday foods that can truly transform how you feel. But here's what I want you to remember. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Start with 1. Maybe swap your afternoon crackers for a handful of almonds, or add a cup of spinach to your scrambled eggs. Small steps matter. My friend Edna started by adding blueberries to her cereal every morning. Now, she's experimenting with kale salads and baked salmon. I feel like I've got my spark back, she told me. And that's what this is all about. Finding your spark, your energy, your joy in everyday moments. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's one superfood you're excited to try? Or maybe you've already got a favorite recipe. Share it in the comments below. Your story might be the nudge someone else needs to take that first step. And if you found this helpful, pass it along to a friend or family member. After all, good health is sweeter when shared. Before we go, let's make a pact. Promise me you'll celebrate every tiny victory. Whether it's trying a new recipe or simply drinking an extra glass of water today, it all counts. Age isn't about slowing down. It's about savoring the journey with intention. You've lived a life full of stories, and with these foods as your allies, there are so many more chapters left to write. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips on living vibrantly, no matter your age. Remember, your best years aren't behind you. They're right here, waiting to be nourished. Here's to your health, your joy, and the incredible life you're building, one delicious bite at a time.